r/ask Reddit. What are you terribly afraid of? The death of my mom. I can't bear it. I might just die from frickin' grief. I break down and cry whenever I think of losing my parents. My mom died when I was 13. I'm 16. God, it really scarred me. I'm in a similar boat. I was 10 and I'm 19 now. And I think my biggest regret is that I never knew who she was as an adult, and never had an adult to adult relationship with her. I only ever saw her through the eyes of a child, and never knew who she really was. Living an unfulfilled life. I'm afraid of that also, and yet I know I'm not doing as much as I can do to prevent living an unfulfilled life. I know that's a huge contradiction, and I need to do more. Please do it while you're healthy. Don't take that for granted. Know how difficult it is to live with that fear and to have major, permanent disabilities from the waist down. 3 degrees, lived and worked overseas, and yet I'm facing a reality that I could have accomplished much more for my friends. Million myself when I had my health. I used to be afraid of this. Then I decided that no matter how many accomplishments I have, I will always feel like I could have more. So it's better for me to just enjoy what I currently got going on. Elephants and large, open quantities of water. Fortunately, the two do not mix outside of a potential Terry Pratchett novel. Wait until this guy learns about sea elephants. Are they related to sea bears? I wonder if the protective sea bear circle will work on them as well. That my life already peaked and that was as good as it gets. I thought my life peaked in my early 20s. I had a period where my mental problems almost disappeared and I felt like I could do anything. Then the anxiety and depression came back. Now I'm 28 and slowly working my way back. Next month I start working as a cleaner at a state-owned company and starting to get connections in the music business again. And I got some work on the side building stages. It's always possible to bounce back. I don't often comment on Reddit as not many comments resonate with me. Yours, however, did. I thought my life peaked at 21 and it's been shit and downhill since. I'm 28 now and slowly starting to pick things up. 2 incomes. Positive attitude. Try to be grateful as I've learned what shit is really like. No GF, but I guess I don't have time what with working 2 jobs. Deep dark water. Thalassophobia I think is what it's called. I think Subnautica would be a great game for you. Loved the game, but haven't experienced that kind of anxiety inducing heart thumping terror anywhere else. I started the game blind. I didn't even look at the gameplay trailers. Holy duck, I shit myself when I first encountered a Reaper. That all my friends might leave me one day and I'll be all alone. Well, I can tell you from experience that you learn to deal with it. The loneliness sucks sometimes, but you learn to live with it. Big ass flying cockroaches. Absolute nightmare. Don't move to Florida. I legit have a phobia of a fat roach or beetle or toe biter landing on my face and deflating my eye with a mega bite. I literally have reoccurring nightmares where no matter how I run or put on a mask cover my head, they catch up, get under the cover, and blind me. Ugh. Oh my goodness. I cannot stand cockroaches. They freak me the duck out, the disgusting little bastards. About a month ago I was out on my balcony at night and a roach flew at my face. I dodged and it landed on my arm. Scuttled down my arm before I flung it away. Duck me. I know I will think about that for a long time. I had one land on my foot the other night. I ignored it after flicking it away, so a few minutes later it dropped onto my pillow 2 inches in front of my face. It was the second one to land on my foot in 3 days. I'm in Queensland and I live near a sewage treatment facility, so they're just everywhere. When it rains and they can't fly high, you'll see them all over the brick veneer of my house. It literally squirms with hundreds of the duckers. I don't know how they get inside, but I collect about 4 dead ones a day. Either my cat gets them or the flea bomb left in the carpet does. Going through life not being genuinely happy, and also maybe dying alone. IDK. Dying alone for sure, but I'm clearly headed that direction. Alzheimer's. I am surprised that this is not higher in the thread. Your mind lives in a world you no longer recognize. People fade away from your mind as the disease progresses. You lose the ability to take care of your own matters and you no longer live a life in your own terms. You have great trouble communicating and expressing what you feel, think and need. You try to make sense out of what you see and experience, but the disease distorts what you learned about this world. Also, duck cancer. Absolutely, this is terrifying for me as well. Saw what it did to a much loved relative. Don't want to go out that way, but because DNA. I've heard people say that Alzheimer's is harder on the family than on the patient, but I disagree. It sounds terrifying. Being confused all the time with memories coming in and out, not knowing where you are or who is talking to you. Getting old scares me, but the thought of losing my mind is what scares me even more. I'm afraid that my best friend is dead and rotting somewhere with a needle sticking out of his arm. He probably just couldn't put together the money to pay his phone bill this month or something like that. But when you've witnessed someone overdosing and being revived more than once and you know they're still doing what they do, it's hard not to worry when they drop off the face of the earth. Sorry mate. Same. Totally there with you. It's the worst feeling. You can try and help them and they know deep inside you're trying to help, but the drug has such a grip. Ultimately, you can only support or strongly urge them to get help, but it won't really happen unless they finally decide for themselves it's time to clean up. Sometimes it's a sad end. I hope your friend is okay. Bless you for being that guy who cares. I am afraid of that too. Have a best friend who has smoked crack for the last 15 years. In the past year, in all his wisdom, started smoking meth to quit the crack. Now does both. And they are cutting crack with fentanyl now. He has started admitting he is hearing voices now. Drug psychosis. Over the years I've been through getting him in rehab. Let he and his GF stay with me. AA meetings. Being his accountability partner. Tried it all and yet he still does it. I have a fiance, kids and a family and I really love him, but I don't have the time or the energy anymore to try and save him. He has a pattern of moving other addicts in with him because of the whole do the next right thing. So he focuses on helping them and assumes that will keep him sober. It doesn't. So don't beat yourself if when your friend passes. If they keep it up it will eventually happen. Unavoidable. Have had at least 5 friends OD with needles too. Sad. While mountain climbing, the sun getting in my eyes so badly that I can't see what I'm grabbing and it turns out to be someone's naked ass. That truly depends on who's ahead. Breaking news. Bigfoot found. Man who made the discovery says ass is just as big. Is undergoing reconstructive surgery for the face. Human interaction. You ducks are scary. Username checks out. Dying without experiencing love or not doing the things I haven't done. I was happy with my single life. I have been overweight my entire life and I just accepted that I wouldn't have a partner and I'd live alone or with my sister. I was content. Then I fell in love. Then he ended it. I was happy with my single life. Now I'm not. I wish I could forget what it felt like to be in love because losing it is far worse than never having it. Needles penetrating my veins. Was terrified of needles too until I was diagnosed with cancer and had to have the tumor surgically removed, and worst, 6 cycles of chemo that followed. It was needles. Needles and more needles. The big straight ones. The crooked ones for the chemo port. You name it. All that eventually cured my fear though. Apart from the cancer. I hope you're doing better. Presenting to a group of people. I am trying not to freak out about my confirmation seminar at the end of the year. I get anxiety just thinking about it. Came here to say this, but I was sure someone else already had. I try to avoid public speaking at all costs, yet even then you sometimes get forced into it. Let's all go around the room and introduce ourselves. Let's not. Alligators. Crocodiles. Brain aneurysm. Found archer. Spiders. Any type of insect or arachnid really. Failing my kids. I try to be there for them. Support what they do. Try to work my ass off to pay for their college. But the negative influence from my ex always has me worried. The fact that you're afraid of that makes you a better person, mate. Losing my husband. Also having to live in some kind of apocalyptic post-apocalyptic world and things that may lead to easy. Just die first. Sadly, driving. It kind of makes life hard. It's one of those things that is absolutely terrifying until you do it a lot. Try to force yourself to do it on less populated roads and it'll become less terrifying. And then once you get in an accident it's terrifying again. Losing my partner. Not being in the center explosion of a nuke. If there is a possibility of a nuclear attack, I don't want to be the surrounding aftermath. I want to be ground zero. Radiation poisoning and dying a slow painful death like that doesn't appeal to me at all, and it sounds super terrifying. At least at ground zero you have a high chance of being vaporized and possibly not feeling a thing. I always try to imagine what a death like that would be like. Just instantly gone. Vaporized. 1 second you're here, the next you're just gone. Without feeling a thing. Becoming pregnant. Butterflies and never marrying. Wasps. I can deal with bees. They are friendly little flower duckers. Spiders are just natural insect deterrents. Any bug or creature I can deal with. But wasps. Those bastards scare the hell out of me. They want to attack because you exist. No other reason. You don't gotta piss them off. Your existence is enough justification for them to ruin your day. I'm afraid my mother will find out the next time I'm in the country and use her connections to have me sectioned as a way to keep me in the country for a few extra days. We've got a bad relationship, and I am happy where I live now. Every time she talks to me it's about how I need to come home. Being dragged by the collarbones like someone digging in so deep that they can grab the bone and pull. I hate how vividly I pictured this LMAO. The dentist. I was terrified of the dentist. Had a lot of teeth pulled when I was a child, and none of my dentists were nice. All I remember was pain. Recently, 15 years after going to the dentist previously, I had to get 2 teeth pulled. Was crying almost the entire time they were looking at my teeth. I panicked the whole week until the appointment came for the extraction. I had a nice dentist. He told me to tell him if I felt any pain. Would pause when I needed a moment. Was actually an awesome experience. Not all dentists are jerks. There are good ones out there who are patient. If you haven't been in a while, find a good one to go to. If you don't like your current one, find one who is better. I'm just passing this along so that you know they don't all need to be feared. I had a broken tooth for 2 years before I got the nerve up to make an appointment. Cried in fear the entire day after just making the appointment. And all that worrying was for nothing. As a parent, everything. Rats and mice. Not sure why, but those duckers terrify me. My irrational fear is being faced with a bear attack when I am unarmed. No pepper spray. When I am with my family kids. Armed pepper spray okay. Unarmed by myself okay. Unarmed with my family would be no bueno. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.